Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to GeekVerse Thought Bubbles. I'm Travis Snell from the GeekVerse podcast. This is the most depressing one I've had to do yet. You've seen by the title, you've heard the news. This is the news that's going to be talked about for the next week. You thought The Last Jedi was talked about a lot. This news is going to be talked about so much. Ben Affleck puts out a statement and announces he is no longer directing The Batman. Oof. Okay. There's so much to cover here. There's so much to unpack. Just sitting at home, watch TV, saw this. I got goosebumps out of fear, literally. Just like, oh my god, like this can't be real. I read his statement. To start, if you are trying to spin this in a positive way, and I've already seen some people do this, if you're the diehard fans who love Man of Steel, love BVS, love Suicide Squad, you're probably not going to like this video. It's going to be pretty much all negative, because in my opinion, there's no way you can spin this positively. I've already seen like, oh, he's still writing and producing and starring. That's great. You know, it's pretty... And I saw someone say literally like, oh, it's pretty much still going to be the same. No, like... If you don't understand the difference between a writer and a director and the things that directors can do that writers are not allowed or cannot do, you're gone. Like, I don't understand how Ben Affleck's tone and his sensibilities as a director are gone from this. Yes, he's writing and producing, but he's not behind the camera on this. It's the same way you can look at any time someone is like, oh, it's written by or produced by this person, and then you look at it, it's a garbage, and it doesn't have nothing to do with, like, it doesn't have the same technique, doesn't have the same style, doesn't have the same tone, doesn't have the same pacing, editing. It's the same thing as, like, when you say, sorry, when, like, J.J. Abrams slaps his name on something, or Spielberg. Like, Spielberg produces a Transformers movie. Not gonna go off a rant that way. I'm just saying, like, there's no way to spin this positively. There's things you can try and be positive about, like, true, he's not... That's what's so bad about the situation, though. The positive thing is, oh, he's not fully gone. This is bad. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why it's bad. If you want to stick around, great. I don't know why. If you, no matter what, think it's going to be A-okay and this affects nothing and this is not a big deal for DC or bad news for DC, your mind's not going to be changed by this video, so why would you watch it and put yourself through that? Don't understand. Let me know in the comments. But if you're willing to have an open dialogue or conversation, and even if you liked Man of Steel and Squad and BVS, you have to know this is bad. So I'm going to take you back. Years ago when this was announced, Ben Affleck is Batman. Bale's gone, Nolan's gone, what's they going to do? They've announced Batman vs. Superman. Who's going to fight Henry Cavill? Oh my god. They announced Ben Affleck. Big fucking shitstorm, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to break this down to a personal story for myself. Keegan, who guest on Dynamic Duo a long time ago. Check it out. It's the State of Superhero Films, which is a great podcast to listen to right now. We did in summer. So we were doing this, and it's funny, myself and Kyle, actually, we were not too negative on Ben Affleck. We're not that person like, oh, we knew he was great. I was always a fan of Ben. No, we were like, hey, this was definitely not our first choice. There's other people out there that they should have picked. You know, John Hamm, Michael Fassbender, to name a few. But, like, that doesn't matter now because Ben Affleck killed it. But to take us back to that time, sorry, to take us back to that time, Keegan was like, I'm not a fan of this at all, blah, blah, blah. And I got it. There's a lot of people that were not a fan of it. I don't like it. I think he's going to be bad, blah, blah. Acting-wise, came out. He loved it. I love it. Take that away. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think he'll do a good enough job at least. I think he could do a great job. Let's see what happens. But I always said, you know what? There's probably 5 to 10 people I would have picked before Affleck, you know? Before seeing BVS. Because I did not... I like BVS to a point, but love Affleck. He kills it. So before seeing that, I thought, okay, well, not my first pick, not my 5th pick, not my 10th pick, but the biggest silver lining, the biggest thing about this, and the greatest thing about Ben Affleck coming aboard is his resurgence in the directing world. Gone Baby Gone, fantastic film. The Town, I think, is his best film, fantastic film. Argo, fantastic. Academy Award, Best Picture Academy Award winning film. Live by Night, sure, I haven't seen it. You take that out. Obviously, critics are not loving it, but still, doesn't matter. This is back in the past when these three films that happened. These 3 films happened. I looked at Ben Affleck, And even Kyle, we were talking about this a long time ago, we looked at him and just like, yeah, who knows how he's going to be as that? And there was even rumors about him directing Justice League. So we were like, but if he could just be a good enough Batman, but direct Justice League and direct Batman, fuck, that's going to be good. How good is that? What possible way could we go from, sorry, you may disagree, but the majority of people feel Dark Knight trilogy, one of the greatest trilogies of all time, one of the best, maybe arguably the best comic book trilogy of all time, probably against Captain America. And it was such a height. And I know lots of people didn't like Dark Knight Rises, but at the end of the day, sorry, that's 100 times better than any DCEU film out right now. Sorry. And a lot of people feel that way. I know there's a big majority of people that would not feel that way and don't like Rises, but a lot of people feel that way, that they love the Nolan movies, and he produced one of the best films of the past decade, one of the best comic movies of all time, arguably the best comic film of all time. So where do you go from Nolan? You go and you get Ben Affleck. Phenomenal. Because really, when you thought about it, there's only a few people that I think selecting as a director, taking the Batman part out, as a director who could make you feel comfortable. And that's what that did for me. And then as you saw BVS, you felt super comfortable. And yes, even if you didn't like BVS, or myself who kind of liked it but had problems with it, you looked at Ben Affleck being Batman and you're like, I really have no worries anymore. My worry was, how's he going to do as Batman, And I wasn't too worried. I thought he would do at least good, like I said, good enough. I like him in Daredevil. Daredevil is not a terrible movie in my opinion. It's in that middle echelon of like, it's just an okay comic movie. Like, it's not a Fantastic Four or Green Lantern level. Like, there's much worse, and I thought he did good. So it was this thing of, Nolan's gone, and we have somebody that is a great replacement. Somebody that has Academy Award winning films as far as writing and just best picture. Like, this is a great step. Like, maybe it's not a step up, but it is on par with Nolan. You replaced a great director with another great director who arguably is in the prime of his right now. I don't care what you say. If you didn't like Live by Night, I haven't seen it, I can't judge. But at the end of the day, just because and I haven't even heard it's that bad. I heard it's just kind of slow, maybe a little boring. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Everybody makes kind of a film here and there. Like, everything you do at work, or if you do a podcast or whatnot, not everyone's perfect. I've had ones before, you're like, that one was missing, that one. So maybe, whatever, sorry, 1 out of 4 films. That means there's a fucking 75% rate of doing good films, and 1 film that's Academy Award winner, and 2 that were close to being nominated. I can't remember if Gone Baby Gone did, but if they weren't nominated, they were talked about the whole year of, man, Affleck is fucking good. He is good. He's solid. He is still one of the best directors working today. That all happens. BVS comes out, kills it. So it's this double whammy of, we have Affleck, who's killing it as Batman. So we don't even have to worry for the Bale fans like myself. It's like, we got a great Batman, and we have a great director. But taking the greatness out of it, and this is why, like I said, if you love all the DC stuff, this episode is not going to be for you. If you're kind of in the middle, or you're like myself, I like BVS, but it should have been so much better. It had so many fucking problems, guys, and we all know this. Squad, so many problems. That movie's not good, and Man of Steel is very divisive too. Lots of people don't like that. I do not. That's the only movie in the past decade I fell asleep in. Before that was Cat in the Hat. You know what? I'm sorry. I tried. I just was bored. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like Superman. I didn't like the motivations. That's for a different topic. But that's the thing. There's many people like myself that do not like much of the DCEU. Or they feel just alright about it. But the thing was, yes, Wonder Woman's coming out. But guess what? There's already rumors about that being maybe a possible mess. And sorry, people be like, oh, why would they know? Blah, blah, blah. How could people know? There has to be a fucking script. There has to be at least few edits. Like, people still have, it's still the thing of like when Squad was rumored to be a mess, or BVS, like things came out and then certain people come and say, no, I'm hearing the exact opposite, like it's not that, and then both those films a mess. So it's this thing of like people coming out and saying it could be a mess or hearing it's a mess. I hate that people are just like, what do you mean? Like that doesn't make any sense, like to me, it's like when Rogue One, when that happened, it was like, this was strange because we didn't hear much about Force Awakens. Disney is working very well, so it's like, that was strange. DC having problems, not that strange. And apparently, rumors Justice League is a mess too from some people. And you know what? For me, it's not even that I have to hear those rumors to believe it, because it's just something I think right now. I saw BVF, I saw Squad. Even if I didn't hear these rumors, I would think these films are a mess until I see them. But you take those 2 out, or so you put those 2 in. Wonder Woman, everyone's hoping that is going to be the Hail Mary for the DCEU. But at the end of the day, people are still like, meh, could still be bad. Justice League, I think, does not have that much hype. I'm sorry, DC fans are excited, but Comic-Con, everyone was talking about Wonder Woman. And all my friends I talk about just feel like, even you listen to our last episode of GeekVerse podcast, Taylor Field gave BVS a 9. He gave Suicide Squad a 10. Even he is looking at Justice League and feels like he says it's gonna be a fucking bloodbath. He feels it's gonna be a mess and it's just gonna be this big catastrophe of film. And that's coming from someone who fucking gave Squad a 10. So that's what I mean. There's people that like these movies that still feel that way. You can like something or love it and still be like, yeah, but that could be a mess. And that's what I'm saying with Taylor. So Wonder Woman, we have to wait and see. League could be a mess. But this was the thing. Always. Throughout, even before BVS, when we heard it could be a mess, it was always, and even Liam, former Dynamic Duo person, he is not a fan of he did not like BVS. He did not like Squad, like a lot more than me. So he was always still, and he has no faith in Wonder Woman. He has no faith in Justice League. He's just, you know what, I've kind of given up. And I can't blame him. But he always said, and most of us retorted, and a lot of you retorted, that I'm excited for the Batman. You got Ben Affleck, who did a phenomenal job as Batman, and you have one of the best directors in Ben fucking Affleck right now. And that was the thing. That was the constant for him, and that was the constant for many people, including myself and other people. It didn't matter for me this year if Wonder Woman came out and bombed. I mean, like, critically, like with me. If I felt the same way I did about it as Squad, and same thing as Justice League. Because at the end of the day, I'd always go, you know what? Out of all this rubble and garbage, there's going to be one pebble in there. And that's Ben Affleck's The Batman movie. I am very biased. I love Batman. Batman's there or in there. He's my favorite character of all time, tied with the Joker. Those two are neck and neck. I love them. He's my favorite fictional character. So I'm biased. But that was the one thing with the resume. The resume just looked so strong. And it was always like, you know what? No matter what happens, we're going to get that film. And now we're not. Ben Affleck is no longer directing this. Now, to get into some of the people that are saying, like, oh, it's still alright, blah, 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 or just even looking at his statement, and he says this thing about, oh, I can't take on the workload, I need to find a partner. The press release sounds great. It sounds all hunky-dory and happy. This is such a bad sign. And not just for the film, but just overall. If you don't think that, you need a reality check. I need a reality check how to fucking speak, apparently. If you don't think this is bad, not only just for the movie, but for the DCU in general, I don't know. Because this whole thing of, hey, I can't direct it because it's going to be too much work. I need to focus on the character. Two things. Past 3 films of his, he's fucking starred, and he had no problem doing that. I get it, the Batman's bigger, but I would understand if he had not played the Batman yet. He's played Batman already. He knows that character. And I'm sorry, that's why I had a preference. This Batman's my favorite character. I believe it is still challenging, but it is not tough like having to get fully in the character. It's not the Joker. It's not fucking Daniel Day-Lewis playing Abe Lincoln. It's not... You're not really having to get... You're not having to do an accent. You do have to act, of course, but you're not having to get into another psychological level where the Batman he is crazy, but it's not full. He's not crazy. He's not being out there and sporadic, and he's not all these big emotions. He's very secluded. He's very to himself. You know, there's a bitterness and an angriness, but I don't think it's so exhausting to the point where you couldn't do both. I've not been in that situation. I don't know. So, right, fuck me, but it's hard to believe when the guy has done it 3 times in a row. And successfully, 2 times successfully in a row. I guess not counting Live by Night, but still, he's the main character. To me, this reads 2 things. One, actually maybe it's just one big thing. He doesn't want to be anywhere fucking near this thing from a directing standpoint because, you know what, sometimes there's some writers that do get shit on, you know, if it's really bad. And you're like, look at Max Landis, he's one where he'll go on record and say, like, you know, I didn't write it this way, or they changed this. But at the end of the day, the majority of writers, director is the head honcho that gets up there, you know? And that's the thing, and that's part of the reason why I think he doesn't want to do it, because if this thing fucking falters, if this thing bombs, and it has Ben Affleck's name on it, he goes from Live by Night to, let's say, a bombing Batman. Not even counting what happens with DCEU. a bombing Batman. And then he gets to be known as the guy who made the worst Batman film after the Nolan trilogy, you know? You don't want that. And maybe that's part of the reason why. But at the same time, I'm a little disappointed because I thought he wanted this challenge because that's the thing that makes me so worried is he was so excited over this. He's on the fucking Comic-Con stage. He talked about a lot until he got hammered about what he talked about a lot. There's been stories from Kevin Smith about how much he loves the Batman. Yes, he's playing the Batman, but I can't see a man of his talent and his drive why he does not want to be at helm with the Batman if there's not a bigger problem. And that's where, for me, I don't think the Ben Affleck statement and everything, I'm not taking more shots at him and being like, oh, he's just not up to it. I think it's just he does not like, this is complete speculation, but guess what? It's a podcast. This is what we do. This is what we do. That's what the internet's fucking for. Other than going crazy in GIFs, or GIFs, however you want to say it. I think this is a bigger problem again. And if you want to say, no, it's not, sorry. Look at Zack Snyder. Look at Ayer. Look at the fucking Flash situation. We have talked about it on GeekVerse. They're doing a page one fucking rewrite. A page one fucking rewrite. That means whatever movie they had for the past 3 to 4 years, they're just like, and they were going to make it. They were going to make it, but things start like, nah, let's just start over and do something different, you know? And to me, some people could say that's good. Yeah, sure. It also shows they have no fucking vision, and it shows they have no idea what's going on. And people can get mad in the comments or whatnot and say whatever they want to, but I love DC. I've loved DC since I was a kid. I love Batman more importantly out of everything. And that's just not Marvel, DC, Star Wars, everything. More than wrestling, Batman is my fucking thing. Ask my parents, Batman legitimately was my first word. I love Batman. I love DC. I want it to thrill. I don't understand this whole thing of people that accuse people like myself or other people that are really into comic books for wanting things to fail. I would love if Marvel was killing it and DC was killing it and we just fucking had these two great companies producing these great films. You think I like going to Suicide Squad and being like, man, I'm so disappointed. I had so much high hopes for this. Or BVS being like, man, I was so disappointed. I really wish they did this, or it looked like they were doing this. You know, like, I don't want to be disappointed. And that's what this whole DCEU has been, and that's what it's going to continue to be, because they are, quote unquote, a director's studio. Well, let's take a look at the director's studio. Whether you like Zack Snyder or not, he had a vision. They took it away from him with the 3-hour director's cut, or the 3-hour cut, which at the end of the day, he should have made it a 3-hour cut, but still, okay, that one, fine. It's a bit more muddled, so we don't know, but they definitely changed some shit. But take that one out, it's a bit more muddled. Ayer locked out of the editing thing and got a trailer fucking release, trailer company to edit their movie. Like, that doesn't sound like for the director's studio. You had, I think it was Seth Grahame-Smith, that was his name, and then you had Rick Famuyiwa leave, and it's just, for someone that calls himself a director's studio, majority of their problems have been with the directors. And that's where it's like, they say that, and it's the complete opposite. And that's the same way this Ben Affleck statement reads to me. It's like, he says one thing, but it means a completely different thing. And it's just, hey, I'm still going to do this. I have a fucking contract. I can't go anywhere. Hopefully we can make this thing good. I'm so excited to be playing the Batman. But at the end of the day, is he? He was so excited to direct this movie. He's not directing it. He was so excited to be Batman. You think he's excited anymore? After everybody fucking made the sadness memes and BBS got a fucking tongue lashing, and I don't think he deserves it, but at the end of the day, he is a Razzie nominated actor for Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman got a Razzie for Worst Picture. And this is a guy who was in Geely, in Paycheck, in these movies that took his career down and made him a joke. He was about to be soon that straight-to-DVD guy who I won't be mean to name any names, but he's a big star, and then 5 years later you see him on the fucking Blockbuster $5 bin, like, oh, this is what so-and-so's doing. That's the rate he was going. He picked up his career, he dusted it off, and he said, I'm going to make a fucking run of it, and he did. And he became one of the best, if not the best director in Hollywood. You think he likes being attached to this? Because look at this, Already Live by Night to me for almost, this is so close to Birdman in a way. You know, it's like him being a superhero kind of makes it suffer from this, and maybe critics look at it and like, oh well, you know, like, I loved his stuff, but now he's doing this Batman stuff and it's so beneath him, and why, like, I don't want, and I think he doesn't want people to look at those 3 films as a fluke. You know, and if Live by Night didn't do well, and if he directed the Batman and it didn't do well, and that's the thing, I believe Ben Affleck directing and writing and producing a Batman movie, phenomenal. would knock it out of the park. It would be great. One of my favorite comic movies. Him in that exact same situation with the Warner Brothers right now, not the Warner Brothers that let Christopher Nolan do everything, the Warner Brothers right now that are so reactionary and so picky and so worried about trying to catch up with Marvel that they're just throwing up things at the wall. They're just announcing a fucking Black Adam movie out of nowhere, which we do not need. I'm sorry. Like, you think he wants to be a part of that? No, and because that's the thing. If it works out, and maybe in 2 years it'll turn the tide, and maybe it works out and he can say, oh great, I'll direct it now because I'm more familiar with the situation and I can do this and I've seen it done before and I can do that. But he'll probably pick up the ball after the first Batman does good. But the thing is, let's say the Batman comes out and let's say Wonder Woman does not do good, Justice League doesn't do good, the Gotham City Sirens, like all the movies up until don't do good and the Batman doesn't do good, he can just be like, well, you know, I starred in it, I wrote it, I produced it. He wouldn't even say that. It would come to like starring in it. And then at the end of the day, it's this person who gets the blame, which I hope, honestly, if the Batman is a mess and not picky, you cannot blame this on whoever takes the seat. Who takes the fucking seat? Who wants this? Who wants the Flash right now in this like sort of situation? The only people I see, honestly, with someone like the Flash is like an indie director, someone wanting to get a big break. You know, someone like a Gavin Hood with X-Men Origins or something like that, you know? Someone that can come in and the studio will kind of boss around, but you're getting a big shot because if it turns out well, your career's fucking made. If you made a great Batman movie, your career's fucking made. But who wants to step in this pit? And even them. Isn't it a little awkward of a situation that Ben Affleck was this whole time planning to direct it and then you're going to step in and direct it? And it's like, is he still going to be like that armchair quarterback? Like, no, do this, but then not take the credit for it? Because just in case it goes poorly because of Warner Brothers, he can be like, well, I didn't direct it. I was just there to act. And he can do the same thing with BVS and try to stay away from the conversation. Because this was the thing. BVS got so much shit, but he didn't. Everyone loved him. Everyone said, you know what? He is the shining star in this. And yes, he was probably not happy about the film, and those were the reports, but still, everyone would say, hey, you were the best part. The Batman bombs, we know we're going to get a good Bruce/Bat from Ben Affleck. We know he's going to kill it. So it's the same thing that the Batman could be awful, or it could be this mess, because they go, oh, chop, 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 and blend it, and like, here's your movie. But it's like, oh, but Ben Affleck was still good, and we can just be, oh man, Ben Affleck was good. And you know what also people would say? Thank God he didn't direct that, because that would have took his career down, and that's why he didn't do it. I don't understand anybody who's putting a positive spin on this. You can try and be positive, and that's what I get. But it's the people out there being like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, like, whatever, like, this is the right move. Like, come on. This is bad. This is really bad, and this is... I legitimately now have no faith. And I said I'd wait for Wonder Woman. I have no faith. I have no excitement for Justice League. I have no excitement for Wonder Woman anymore. Like, I'm depleted. And I love this stuff. I read comics at least 2 to 5 times a week, at least 2 times a day. Maybe it's a few, maybe it's one, but I read them. I love comic books. And actually right now I'm primarily reading DC because I love DC Rebirth. And it's just such a shame to see where it's going, and I legitimately think this is kind of the beginning of the end. Maybe Justice League and Wonder Woman can turn things around, but why? People can keep saying that to me. Because that's what's going to happen. They always do, because I run the Twitter most of the time, and they always do. Wonder Woman and Justice League's going to turn it around. I heard the same thing. Hey, I wasn't the biggest fan of Man of Steel. Guess what? BVS, it's going to knock you off the floor. Just you watch. Hey, I didn't like BVS. Yeah, but Squad looks great. Just you watch. Didn't like Squad. Oh, but Wonder Woman, Justice League. Oh, they're changing the Storm. They're doing this. It's the same thing. Everybody. I love Jeff Johns, one of the best comic book writers of all time. Everyone keeps going, yeah, but Jeff Johns. Yeah, but Jeff Johns is also part of Green Lantern movie. Jeff Johns has shown us shit for film. You know, he hasn't produced or done any of this big thing. It's like, and that's the thing. If Wonder Woman hits it, then we can talk about it. But I need that Pulp Fiction shot of adrenaline. I don't have it right now, and I think a lot of people don't. A lot of people I see are just getting. It's very much like wrestling right now. It's just getting beat down. And the ones that I have conversations with, a natural conversation with on DC about their problems. And they may like BVS, but I talked to somebody that even really likes Suicide Squad, and they're just like, this is fucking sucks. Like, this is not a good sign. Like, I'm worried for the movies now. And at the end of the day, yeah, it's movies. It's a comic movie. If it fails, what's going to happen? Guess what? In 10 years, we'll get a reboot, and we'll all start again. So at the end of the day, if it bombs, I'm not
you shouldn't be hurt, and you shouldn't have to, if you get into conversations don't need to turn into an argument or a name-calling session. It's all make-believe. This is a conversation for fun because we enjoy this. But that's the problem, that I don't think I'm going to enjoy what's coming out next. I have no faith, and that's the thing. So as someone like myself who didn't like those movies, very worried about these movies, you could always say, oh, they're turning the ship around. I think that goes out the window now with Ben Affleck leaving. I could give that 5-10% of people saying, oh, guess what? There could be a change. I go, you know what? Sure, and Ben Affleck, he's still directing, so I got that. For this to be the turning the ship around moment, and him to jump off that fucking ship, pretty much. He's on the, to jump to the back, he's not steering it, but he's in the back, which is like, hey, this guy has a lot of experience in finding lots of treasure for us steering the ship. He doesn't want to do it. Why? It's because he knows the island they're going to go to is filled with fucking, like, dead zombies, and they're going to kill everybody. But he's going to be in the back, you know why? Because while they're killing everybody, he's going to go, gotta take that wheel, turn it, and I'm getting the fuck out of here, and I'm going to go back and make another fucking Argo. Because, like, that's the thing. I think this is, barring DC has a big turnaround, which I do not think they will. Barring they have a big turnaround, I think you will only see one Batman movie, and I don't know what's going to happen with Justice League. I think if Justice League, this is the thing, if Justice League, even if Batman's good, if Justice League and Wonder Woman are not good, like critically, whatever is on his contract, however many appearances he has, that will be it, and then he'll leave. He's already having a fucking movie done with a different studio. He could be done with this situation, and then 10 years later, he can say, yeah, guess what? I wanted to make this, but it was a fucking mess over there, and I had to get out. I guarantee you that's going to happen. And people will say, no, like, it won't happen. It's happened a lot of times already. Look at the Flash directors. Look at Edgar Wright. You know? And that wasn't as bad, but he's still years later like, yeah, they wanted to connect all this shit, they want to do this, guess what? Not for me. And to me, that's not that bad because he was not in the thick of things, you know? And that was just right away, they got a new director, like, he's in the thick of it, and he's taking the brunt, and he was their crown jewel. He was always fucking Simba. They could hold up and say, look, we still got Ben Affleck directing a Batman movie. Because at the end of the day, to take it all back to the beginning of this episode, that was the one thing that we had. The people talking for just the people that did not like what's happening in the DCEU, we had that. That's gone. There's not much to be excited for. And who directs? Who the fuck steps in those shoes? Like, who wants to touch that? Like, I don't know. This is one thing at least they do is they keep things interesting, and it's going to be an interesting 2 years. But yeah, I have no more excitement. I'm done. I don't have anything else much more to say. I'm excited. We're going to obviously talk about this on GeekVerse podcast in the coming weeks, get all their opinions on it. But I think they're going to echo the same thing as me. And I'm someone that, yeah, I'm like them. I didn't like those films, but I was a lot more positive because I know a bit more as film and a bit more Ben Affleck's track record. And it's like, if I can't get positive, who's a big film buff, how are, like, the mainstream people going to get excited? And most people won't even know. They won't even know that he was directing it. I'm not saying this is, like, when I mean it's doomed, I just mean from a creative standpoint and a good story standpoint. I said this a long time ago, that I worry that DC will be this. It'll just be Transformers for me. It'll be put out these mediocres to these alright to mediocre to bad movies, but they still keep making money, and they still just keep killing it, because that's what Transformers do. All those films are terrible, even the first one. All of them are terrible, but guess what? They keep chugging along, they keep making billions of dollars, and it doesn't matter to them, because why would they stop? I think it's Paramount. Why would they stop making Transformers movie? Just because I don't like it, because a lot of people don't like it, because they get bad reviews? No, but that's the difference. DC may still keep making them. Ben Affleck won't. He won't want to be a part of that. And guess what? They can recast. They can kill him off. They can take some fucking young buck to play Dick Grayson and bring up Batman. Because some people say, oh, a Dick Grayson Batman won't work. It'll have a lesser return, but at the end of the day, all they got to do is, hey, this is Robin in one movie. Or like, this is Nightwing. And the next movie, Ben Affleck dies, and he's left it to him. Same way if Nolan would have directed Joseph Gordon-Levitt in, like, The Dark Knight 4, it would have killed. All you got to do is just set it up. Even if it's a poor setup, because DC... They can't set it up. They are the people that set up furniture or baby cribs without reading the fucking manual, and they're like, gee, this is such a mess. Why? Did you read the manual? No. I wonder why. It sucks. It really does. I was looking very forward to this. I'm very interested I'm not even excited. I'm interested to see who they announce as director. honestly the only person that could give me a ray of hope, which will not happen at all. Oh, two. One, 100%, which won't happen. Christopher Nolan would love it, but he doesn't want to be anywhere near this garbage fire. But they should be like, hey, guess what? Do you want $200 million? Like, just flat out. Like, just give it to him. Like, anything. So, that, and then the other one is David Fincher. That's my only hope. He worked well with him in Gone Girl. You know, they're both directors. They both saw eye to eye, but I doubt it'll be David Fincher. I really do. But that's the only person that would give me a little bit of glimmer hope. There's great directors out there, but you need someone that's going to mesh with Ben after this. Like, he is writing, he this whole time had it in his mind to direct it. And then you're going to come aboard and, like, do whatever his vision was. And that's what I mean. Does this guy get bossed around, whoever it is? Do they work well? Like, I don't know. I really don't. It's tough to get excited. I really think this is kind of the beginning of the end. And by the end of DC, I don't mean, man, they go bankrupt and we never see a DC movie again. I mean two things. Either, you know, a string of bad movies, they take a break and they eventually reboot this. And then somewhere down the line, we get it all over again. Hopefully it's done right. Or we talk about this, once again, the state of superhero films, what I talked about at the beginning. And what I think they should do in 2 to 5 years is Flashpoint it. X-Men Days of Future Past this shit. Go, hey, all that bad stuff, all the stuff that was divisive, we're getting rid of that. That doesn't exist. Here we go. And you know what? People would maybe balk at that. The people that like it, like some people balk at the X-Men, like, oh, X1 and X2 don't count. It doesn't matter. It's not like the fucking Blu-rays or the DVDs or Netflix. They disappear and you're like, guess what? You can never watch X1 or X2. It's a parallel universe. Because at the end of the day, majority of people love X-Men Days of Future Past. So yeah, would you have rather gone another shitty X-Men movie? Or would you have wanted to keep... Or would you have wanted to get another one by just saying, oh, parallel universe. But guess what? You can go back and still watch those movies. Same thing as this. If you like the DCU at this point and they Flashpoint it, you can still go back and watch those movies. I hope that's what happens soon. That's the only hope I got. And I don't know how to sell this. How do I sell this to the GeekVerse podcast members? I was like always trying to be a little positive, but I can't. It's been a string of just bad stuff and horrible and negative stuff for this company. And it's literally just a fucking porta potty on fire. And I'm sorry if you love those movies. Great for you. I don't. I have nothing to be excited for. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm not even going to plug the rest of our stuff. Go to Patreon. We got a lot of good exclusive episodes, Gauntlet episodes there. Check out the Gauntlet. That's lots of fun. A lot more fun than this. Gaming tournament, movie trivia tournament. Lots of fun. Check that out. Rest of the stuff, it'll be all around you. You can check it out. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please let me say anything you want in the comments. I'd love to see what you have to say, positive or negative. Let's hope something good happens, but at this point,